Hello and welcome to the Roundtable Podcast. I'm Shogun. Thank you to the live audience for joining us. Thank you to Sir Paulie for recording. Before we start, please join us on the Roundtable Discord server. Just Google Roundtable Discord or go to Discord and check us out on politics or conspiracy or the black and white charging night. We're also on all social media, and the roundtablediscord.com is our website. So my guest today is none other than Lars. I know him as Lars. How are you, Lars? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today. I believe that you will have some good things to go about here. So
I think so too. I know we have a lot we can talk about of great interest, maybe to people in the community. So I think definitely partly we want to talk about, if you're comfortable, your experience with drugs and addiction, and then how and at what point, to what extent you recovered, perhaps something about your religious beliefs and how they may or may not factor into it. So if you're amenable to that, where do you think your life with drug use started? Like, what was your first drug you used?
most definitely at the age of 6 years old, I was prescribed concerta, Adderall. Went through those things throughout a lot of my early years up until basically middle school. The eighth grades, I had I had realized that a lot of my issues I was dealing with at the time was coming from an overprescription of instant release, Adderalls. I was getting 230 milligram Adderalls a day. By the time I got out of eighth grade, I was 5'8" and 100 pounds. Essentially, I was a fucking walking tweak machine, and I didn't even know I was getting tweaked up like that. So once I got out of eighth grade, I stopped taking that medication. I said, this is my issue. This is my problem. And I realized I've spent my life since I was 6 years old basically tweaking, except for on the weekend. And it's like feeling normal didn't feel normal. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel this or that, which being young and being oblivious to the idea and the concept of, what addiction is, what things happen, what had actually been what I was taking. I started slipping down the slope, which I'd already started drinking at the age of 12 because I had learned that actually helped that tweak come down. And so that's where I started with drinking all the way up to whenever I turned 14. My drinking got more heavy. Started smoking weed. And then I go through an issue in my life where I lost my virginity to a senior chick that had rape drugged me, right? And that right there, doesn't have anything to do necessarily with my drug addiction, but more of anything that had to do with my life sexually from that point on. And then that will lead over to, I go through my 15. I'm 15, sophomore. Think of sex is disgusting because of how I lost it, this and that. And decided, I took my best friend's virginity at that time as well. Around the time, because she was the only person that knew about what was going on, what had happened. And we had first time, quote unquote, together. And that's what kind of eased me back into that. But by the time I was 16, started hanging with the wrong crowd with these senior guys that would go out to this college called Mercer University. And there was a lot of cocaine, a lot of Xanax, a lot of this, a lot of that. It's a private college, so it had a lot of rich kids there, this and that. I was 16, 17, going through basically about turn 19, blowing cocaine like a fucking, like it was the 80s, dog. And that led to a lot of sexual relations with older women, 20s to early late 20s, around that age, doing different things, different sexual tropes. So it's just made me into the man that I am today sexually, but that's beyond the point. I went through the time that I was graduated. Whenever I graduated high school, as soon as I got my diploma in my hand, basically, I was out the door. My parents kicked me out. My mom said, I'm not dealing with you anymore. You are an absolute shithead, which she was right. I was a fucking belligerent being, drunk all the time, going to school out on 3-day coke binges, this and that, dude. And it was terrible. And then that's whenever I had to get a one-way ticket to Jacksonville, Florida for welding school down there. I don't want to mention the school. I don't want to give out any kind of docs type information. But went to welding school down there, and during the time, I had realized that by the time I was standing on my front doorstep walking to the Greyhound bus station, I realized that I have an 8-ball on me, I have a whole script of painkillers on me. And these are the two things that are holding me back in my life. And that wasn't even my first realization. My first realization came from whenever I wake up every now and then in the middle of the night, if I had a night where I went to bed, and because my teeth were gritting from the fiend, and I'll stand over my desk and just take a line to go back to sleep. One of those days, and that's what I believe. That's whenever that kind of interdimensional, divine intervention, if you may, that comes to me, that had given me the thought process through my Holy Spirit, I would say, to say, what the fuck am I doing with myself? I'm taking a line to go back to sleep. That first thought process right there was a moment of like serenity, of realizing I have had a problem for a long time. And on my walk there in the Greyhound station, I was thinking to myself, I was like, what am I going to do about this? I'm fucking trip dick knee deep in coke, and I'm fucking addicted to this shit right now. I'm already wanting the line right now. I'm chain smoking down cigarettes, all this other shit. And one thing that I realized is that I'm going to have to fucking grit my teeth together. In order to get by down there, I'm going to have to wean myself down off of first painkillers. That was definitely a better option there. Using cocaine and coffee to get through some of the pains that I went through physically through opiate withdrawals was about the only thing that would get me up. But I did miss some days because of it. Sickness, the fucking fever, chills, the fucking soreness, all that. Terrible. But nothing was comparative to that 3-year addiction that had led down to, once I had cold turkey the cocaine after I weaned myself down enough to where I felt like I could handle it, the mental battle that I had within myself and my own being, saying everything in my mind. Everything in my mind was telling me, dude, just go get a fucking gram. If you get a gram right now and just take a line, everything would be so much better, dude. You feel sore, you feel achy, you feel tired, you feel like shit, dude. Just go get your line. I had to fight that with every bit of my being, and I went through. By the time my 19th birthday, I had completely and utterly gotten over those said withdrawals, and that I think that's one of the things that definitely started me off on the path of where I am today as a man. Um, that being said, here I am, 21 now. I've learned moderation after going through what I would call self-assessment rehab, which is not for everyone. I do not suggest it for anyone and everyone. If you feel like that you need help, please go get the help that you need from a rehab. But I had to make an option of a gamble in my life of where it was break or bust. I could either end up in a rehab and miss out on the school that I dropped a 40K of loan on with a Hope Scholarship, or you know, I had to tough it out. And it's an option that I would, if you feel like that you have the gumption to do it, go through with it. But by any means, if you feel like that you cannot do it, do not try to, don't give up on yourself. It's okay to get help, always. And that's a-okay. I mean, I had help from people that I still have as good friends to this day, throughout the time that I had my ups and downs through getting through my own self-assessed rehab that I kind of put myself through. And it was very dangerous. The opiates was a very dangerous process too. If you have an opiate addiction, I would definitely say take that rehab joint, because there was a few times where I felt like I was probably about to fucking die. So that's that. But now, as my use of drugs through moderation, no. Don't touch cocaine, don't touch painkillers. I can't even look at a fucking painkiller without my stomach, turning inside some type of way. And if I'm at a party, someone's doing coke, man, I know that. Yeah, I know. I hear it. I feel you, dog. But I gotta remove myself from the situation because I don't even want to give myself the temptation of even touching it. Because I feel like as soon as my nose hits that powder, it's over with again. And I don't even want to try it. I don't even want to risk it. You know what I'm saying? Because my life is so much better from them. But the big picture of that is that going through that self rehab has really taught me what I know what addiction is, right? So I use things through moderation now. I smoke a good bit of weed. I rarely drink anymore, God bless that, because that was such a big hold on my life. Such a big hold on my life in the sense of anytime something came up stressful. Something came up and it was a stress in my life, dead points where I need to, get something done. Oh shit, stressed out about it. Drown myself in alcohol. Wake up the next morning, I'm one day closer to my problem, and I have no idea how I'm going to fix it. That's one thing I don't touch whenever stress comes around in my life is alcohol, because ethanol, it will cradle you into this existence of thinking whatever you think is right, dog. These people gotta say fuck them. What you got going on, fuck them, dude. I got you. I'm holding you. I'm cradling you, and I'll put you to sleep tonight. And you'll wake up in the morning. I can help you again. And that's the thing. You can't fall into that trap either. That's big picture. Is that was another point in my life that I was given that sight that I feel like that makes me feel that God has a bigger plan for me, or what have you, that you want to look at as a higher and spiritual being of omnipresence, that there's something bigger for me out there, because that second time came around where I had this big paper test coming up for welding school. It was my last couple months, so I had to go pipe fitting with it too, and I was kind of struggling with that shit a little bit. And I woke up that morning on Sunday, after drinking myself into basically like a coma that Saturday night. Man, I woke up and I was like, dog, I need to study. I need to stop stressing about this shit. I need to get my shit down. I need to get it down right. What am I doing with this? I looked over at my fucking fifth of Jack and I was like, dude, that bottle's empty. And I don't see any fucking goddamn score that I should have been doing, dog. I'm not doing the shit right. And it's like I was getting this sense of recollection of what I had done. And it's like, no matter how fucked up it got, that point, it was like something was given to me to have that kind of clarity. And I believe that all of us hit that point in our lives whenever we struggle with something, addiction, impulsiveness, what have you, that there's a point, even if it's with greed, with money, with lying, cheating, stealing, all that there's a point that you hit where you get this moment of clarity from this upper being, from maybe even it might be just yourself or the Holy Spirit within you, that would say to you, what's going on here is not right. What's going on here is not the right thing to do. And that's your decision of either taking that road that's less traveled, the rocky one, the one that you're going to have to, put in four-wheel drive for, and make the right decision for the clear roads ahead of you, or you could go towards the one that has the dead end towards it, which that's the one where you say, nah, fuck it. I'm about to go back to the store and get me another bottle. And that's the path that, unfortunately, a lot of us fall under. And I gotta say, no matter what, no matter what anyone's got an issue with, you never should ever berate them or judge them for that shit. Because no one is as perfect as the next being beside you. We all have our problems. We all have our issues. And what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to hold your fellow human, your fellow man, as a crutch. You could be a crutch for them. But it's just like as your dad let go of the bicycle whenever you were little. You ate shit. You need to eat shit in order to realize I need to balance this motherfucker. I ain't got training wheels on and daddy ain't holding the bicycle no more. But whenever you're a crutch for someone, what you do is that you let them walk by themselves until they need something to fall on. And that's what human compassion is all about. That's what having compassion for each other as human beings is about. Someone has an issue and they have this mentality that they want to fix it themselves, because you will never be able to force someone to fix something themselves if they don't see it. They have this recollection. They have this thing. I need help, dog. Or they don't even need help in the first place. Just your support can mean everything. And that you could be that crutch that they could fall on, that if, you know, you make the mistake of maybe falling back a little bit. Maybe getting knocked down. Never fall backwards. If you get knocked down, he's there to kind of help you up because we're not perfect. We make our mistakes whenever we go through anything of you know dealing with addiction, trying to get over it. We have our downfalls because we're not perfect. It's just having someone there to help you back up, or you depend on God to help you back up Himself, because that's the thing. He's all forgiving, and He's there for your repent. You repent to Him. He's there for you. He has a compassion for us whenever Jesus was dying on the cross, and He said, "Father, forgive them for what they don't know they have done." What He was saying to God, what He was saying to His Father, was that as a piece of God walking in the flesh of man inside this mortal being, I see them as our children, as our fucking look afters, as imperfect creation with the time of that Eve made the first sin. That these people do not know what they have done. They do not see what the light has become. And Jesus had asked His Father, please forgive them. No matter what, whenever I draw my last breath, please forgive them, Father. And that's whenever God has given the love and compassion that He has for us now, whenever we fall to our knees in repentance. And that we have our whole heart dedicated towards our repentance. We do our best not to make that mistake again. He will see it. He has compassion. He has love. And He has prospect. And that's how we should try to live our lives as well with other people. We should have that kind of compassion for them as well, because we should walk in the ways, in the shoes of how Jesus walked. Because whether or not you want to believe in the Bible, whether or not you want to believe that Jesus was even a real man, what you cannot deny is that the way how He walked His life was a way of a moralistic high ground that we should try to test our lives to, in the sense of moralistic high grounds. What we should live as, to be good beings, to be creatures of this earth that are not toxicity to our fellow human. If you want to look at it like that, you can look at it like that, but you cannot test and tell me that the life that Jesus walked, it was not a good one. And so, how I find myself now is that as a person who will very rarely, occasionally do a little bit, maybe a little bit of Molly, maybe smoke a little bit of weed, drink a little bit. I don't drink no more than possibly once a month, and that's if that. But whenever I drink, I do that in the moderation of where I know that there's this threshold point of where I reach from sober, tipsy, drunk, and then there's that in between, the piss drunk and drunk, where you lose all control. And then that's whenever the ethanol cradles you, and that's whenever it says, "Go ahead, pound back that shot. It tastes like the water. Go ahead, you thirsty. Go ahead, pound back another shot. Go ahead." And then that's whenever you lose all control of impulse. It's the same thing with anything else. It will be with doing Molly. It could do something like this. Yeah, you go to a party, you take your little pinky dab Molly, get it off your pinky, boom. Guess what? You have a little bit of fun, 5 hours of some good euphoria. That's in moderation. There you go. Maybe another one if you're feeling it. If it ain't like that. But that's the things that you don't do it the next day. You don't do it the next week. You have to hold yourself back. You have to make sure that, okay, this is something that can go back just like how cocaine did for me. This is something that could easily turn into a cocaine addiction to all of a sudden I'm buying ice because it's going to be cheaper, right? No, I can't let that happen to myself. I'm scared to get addicted to shit again. And it's not, and it's a good fear to have. And that being spoken, that's it's something that we need to learn as people, is that we have a lot more power inside of our head than we believe over our own well-being, over our own self-assessment. It's just about putting that elbow grease into your fucking work. It's about making your painting into just something that someone made into a fucking Picasso. It's putting in that extra effort, that extra gumption, that individualistic personality that you are given by God, as all of us as individual beings, and put that shit to goddamn work. Noticing your flaws, work on them every day. Embrace your pros. Look at yourself inside of a good light. Every day, that's a positive step. Whether it be a small baby one or it's a big stride, is a good step in the right direction. And if you ever get knocked down, which you will, life will always have something to throw at you that will trip you up. Do not let it push you back. That's the thing. You get tripped up, You can fall down, stand up, realize that whenever you come back around, yeah, that guy's right there. But don't let it push you back. Whenever it stumbles you, don't fall back down the damn hill. And then, because guess what? You're ending back up at step one. If you let it push you back, then you're letting it defeat you. If you let it defeat you, then you're falling farther and farther away than where life wants you to be at. And life is not easy to catch up to. And it's going to run in the wrong goddamn direction. And you got to direct it back towards its right way. It is like a freaking ADHD child running rampant off of a freaking pixie stick. It has no direction, no sensibility. It is wild. It is the sense of the same thing that how Hurricane Katrina took away half the bayou. That life is also keeping a beautiful ecosystem inside the fucking Amazon rainforest. A beautiful life cycle there. As the same thing as we're sitting here right now, we all have our own problems. There's a man living under the bridge right about 5-10 miles down the road, COVID, dying, coughing his lungs out. You do not always have the shorter end of the stick. Someone always has it shorter. And you got to always keep yourself inside that positive mental assessment of, well, could have it worse. You know what I'm saying? What can I learn from this? What can I build myself from this? How can I build this sense of protection for the next time that something like this comes around? I can get that alarm bell saying same thing with people. Alarm bell happens if you come around to a manipulative yes man type of person that's a friend, stabs you in the back, right? You learn from it, you live from it, you don't let it bring you down, but instead you build from it. Next time someone like that comes around in your life, by the first meeting, you'll have that shit nipped in the bud, and guess what? He ain't in your life no more. And that's a toxicity well avoided. That's making that's making mountains out of molehills. You know what I'm saying? That's making life built worth something. It's just you have to accept the reality. See what life is thrown at you. See what the reality of what life is thrown at you. Because no matter what, there's always something that you could have done better. And that's the magic of it. Always something you could do better, and all you can do is build from it. Because we will always make mistakes. We will always be imperfect. People. A good common question I get whenever I defend the Christian God is, well, if God is so great, God is so good, then why does He let innocent people die? And my answer is this: in the eyes of God, no one was innocent. We are all sinners in the eyes of God, and that through the repentance of our prayer, through the repentance of what we believe in, what we believe is Jesus being the man that died on the cross, becoming a part of God in heaven. That man walked this life and died on the cross to show and to give that part of himself back to God, to say, this is the life that I walked, and I still love these people that have crucified me. Please, Father, give them a chance. He gives us that chance. In the eyes of God, no one is innocent. In the eyes of God, we are all His children, but we are not all innocent. No one is. We are born in this life as sinners. We're born into this life as, imperfect. The day that we draw our first breath is the first day that we're dying. We draw our first breath, we are dying. Our time clock starts there, and we do not have any control over whenever our lives end abruptly. And you have to live every day like as if it's your goddamn last. Every day is the start of a new day. It is never, oh, well, I'll get around to it tomorrow. You don't know if you got it tomorrow, especially inside these times. You don't know if you got it tomorrow, dog. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, get it done now. At least if you get it done now and it's a big project and the world ends tomorrow, at least you could have went to bed that night before that tomorrow comes around, smile on your face saying that you did something right that day. It's all about doing things that are positive, because everybody wants to live in the negativity of that, short span, get rich quick kind of dealios in life, where it's like, I have to make a support beam. I could either make it 180 inches, or I could divide it up into two 90-inch, pieces of beams, 4 beams a piece, all 90 inches, right? Well, how do you connect these pieces? Well, usually probably through a piece of unistrut, what have you. Well, that will essentially make it stronger because inside that middle point of where the weakness would be at, you have a big piece of flat unistrut that hangs from the ceiling to keep that type of middle piece where it will be its weakness, strengthened more than if you have those two 180-inch pieces. Because as quicker as it would be, instead of getting the freaking bandsaw and cutting that shit, quicker it will be to just go ahead putting up those 180. Oh, well, I mean, like, why do I need to cut it? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's the way that you were told to do it. You're told to do it for a damn good reason. You know what I'm saying? You do it right the first time, you ain't got to go back and do it again. And you try to make shortcuts in life, usually it'll come back around and bite you in the fucking ass. You live your life through manipulation, lying, deceit. Whatever's in the dark comes to the light, my brother. Whatever's in the dark comes to the goddamn light. And what I say by that is you're talking to someone, you're talking to two peoples, you end up picking up one that you like a little bit more than the other, but you like to keep the other one on the side piece. Guess what? You start getting really serious with that little thing that you made your main piece. You got your side piece still over here, and now you don't know how to drop a side piece because you've also gotten closer to her. You're sitting here inside this situation here where you're locked up, where you should have, as soon as you were getting closer to one of them, you should have just nit the other one right in the bud. Guess what? You ain't got to come back around to where 2 months later, you got old girly, which is now your girlfriend, someone that you care deeply about, going through your messages like, why the fuck you still talking to her? Oh, it's all over with. Guess why? Because you were trying to live your life inside of a double lifestyle that should not have been lived whenever you should have just been honest, straightforward, and to the point the first time. Hey, so I had found someone else. As much as it might hurt the other person, better nip him in the bud and just going ahead and, hurting two more people in the process. That's just life. That's just life, man. It's all about your honest, your humility, the way how you hold yourself, your self confidence, your self love can reflect and can show upon to other people whenever you walk into a room. I mean, you could be the light in the room. I never like to have that awkward silence. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to sit there. I like to try to make another conversation piece, man. I don't want to sit here with 8 people in silence. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's get together. We're congregating. Let's congregate. Let's tailgate. Let's do something, dog. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just sitting here just hanging out, 8 people doing nothing. Let's have a good conversation. Let's have something going on. You know what I'm saying? That's a good positive aspect because you're socializing with the people that don't that need someone to band it together. That kind of need that you kind of need that what you would call sealant kind of inside the breach of what a friendship could be. Like nowadays, I've realized this too. I hang out with people and we smoke weed. We smoke weed every time we hang out. And it's one time you want to hang out. It's like, yo, you got some weed? Well, no. And then they're like, nah, man, I can't really go out. Those aren't the people you need in your goddamn life. You know why? Because you only have one common interest, a goddamn drug. That one common interest does not hold right. It does not hold right because it does not have a bondage that it needs to have. It does not have that assessment of any type of relationship you have, friendship or otherwise, relationship, sexual relationship, whatever you have, is that you have these 4 main points, in my opinion, that you hold with people. That goes to physical, mental, emotional, sexual chemistry, right? And you can have a friend you have no sexual interest in. That sexual chemistry is at 0%. Your physical aptitude around that person could be at a good 75%, what have and then your emotional, mental might not be all there, but it's still a percentage, right? You hold that with every single person you run into, I believe. And that's going to attest and assess what kind of person that is for your life. Well, if I want a companion, I want someone I can communicate with. I want someone that hey, what you want to go out for date tonight? Oh, I don't know. Shit. Give me a fucking suggestion. I'll hardball it off of you too. Let's go ahead and make a day out of it. Let's not have one-sided conversation here. Let's not make it one-sided where, we need to make a compromise. You want to do something? I want to do something. Let's put it together type shit. We're yelling at each other. We're getting in the fuss. Wait a second. One of us has got to realize this ain't healthy. Hold up. Let's separate for a minute. take a couple breaths, come back together, see what the fuck we can do about this issue that we have either between us or what's going on in our lives as two people in companionship, right? Communication's a good fucking solid hold. And all that just wraps back around to that whole entire mentality that you have, where even if it comes to people, you will have a moment of realization that if this person is not right in your life, whether it be a friend, acquaintance, associate, girlfriend, fuck buddy, whatever it might be, that if you have this moment of doubt in your head that says, hold up, there's something about this, something about that, ain't right. You can either choose that road less traveled and be like, listen, it's been great, but this ain't going to work out because of blank, or you don't have to give them a reason. That's up to you. I personally say, like, give them a reason. Maybe that gives them a good chance to self-reflect. Gives me a good chance to self-reflect too on myself, because then that's probably going to give them a good answer to fire back on, something for me that I can fix about myself. It's all about building. Whether or not it hurts the other person is a pain as well that's well received. It's a good satisfactory pain that I receive from that person. That is, ooh, yeah, that is negative about me, but fuck, thank you for telling me, you know? And then you have that mentality of either choosing that, or you could just be like, oh, fuck it, the pussy good anyways, right? Oh, yeah, fuck it, the pussy good anyways. And so you just keep going with it, and guess what? You might end up in a relationship, you might get old mama pregnant, something like that. Guess what? Now you stuck. Because you decided to go against what you were given to say otherwise. As much as we are all sinners and we are all imperfect, we all make these mistakes. And it's okay to make these mistakes, because these mistakes are what you can build off of. A mistake is something like a stone pillar that you can make into a staircase. You know, it's something that you can make into a trail in the woods, right? You have this whole woodland area, but you got to get from point A to point B. Well, guess what? You got yourself a fucking machete. Hack your ass through that shit. Hack your ass through it. That's why we're fucking humans. We're the apex. We're the people that adapt to life, and we're the people that make it better for us. They're the people that are able to adapt from it to carrying a freaking 100-pound rock to being like, hold up, let me put it on these logs, let me roll it, let me put the log in front of it, roll it around. Oh shit. But why do that whenever I can make a fucking wheel? You know what I'm saying? Like, we adapt and we evolve and we become something better through the mind of articulation and adaptation that other animals don't really do. Their adaptation is through physical attributes. That's the same thing as a mountain lion compared to an African, African lion. Difference between crocodiles, alligators, deals like that. Their adaptation to their environment, we make the environment that we adapt to. And you might as well make something good out of it. If you're gonna make a cake, you might as well do it the right way. You might as well make a cake that you're gonna like. You shouldn't now be like, let me put a vanilla on vanilla cake. You know, I'm more of a chocolate person, but I think vanilla on vanilla, I think that'll work out better. No, fuck that. That's stupid. As stupid as that is the same thing as how stupid it is to be like this. Well, I'm afraid of hurting this person's feelings because I feel a different kind of way than how they feel about me. Something like that. It's just as stupid as that kind of idea. It's like, get that shit out your head. Don't worry about it. You gotta look out for yourself for anyone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can always have a plate of food. If you only have one plate of food and someone else is hungry, you can only give them so much. Until, if you have a second plate of food, you're able to give that, provide it through compassion. But if you don't,
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions for Lars?
I'm sorry, I went off on a huge rant there. I don't know. I went off on a sermon. I just had to get that out of my mental.
Oh, it's fine. It's interesting.
It's like, I'll long story short this real quick. You feel some type of way. There's probably a good reason why you feel some type of way. There's a right way, there's a wrong way. Do it the wrong way, you either fuck up the opportunity to have something beautiful that you could have built, or you have to do it over again whenever you could have just did it right the first time. And we all know what the right way is. It's just like the same way. We know the moral high ground, and we know the moralistic downfall of every decision that we usually make. And, you can either choose, well, I could be a shithead, or I could be the adult. I could do what I'm supposed to do. I could hold my head high, walk off, might make me, might give a little bit of pain in my shoulder, but it's better than deciding to go head first into a fucking man covered in armor, right? I have nothing but my bare naked body. This man's covered in armor. He's talking shit. I could say, I'll go over here try to bop his ass real quick. Guess what? You're gonna get your shit rocked. I'm sorry, but you're gonna get your shit rocked. Or you could choose to walk off, and that man could try to chase after you ass. And guess what? You picked your fight well, because guess what? Your naked bare ass is gonna be able to run a lot damn faster than his old fucking armored ass. You know what I'm saying? There's a right decision, there's a wrong decision. You're going to know the outcome of both of them. But your bullheaded ignorance can get in the way of thinking that the outcome of the wrong decision is going to make it a good one.
Awesome. So, does anybody have any questions for Lars? Nobody.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think will happen to you like 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, I could give you a good. I'll give you a humored answer there, real quick. Basically, what I could say is that I can't look at 10 years from now whenever I'm living now, but what I can say is where I want to be at 10 years from now. When I have a family, I want to be settled. I want to, get up out of here, be a what I was meant to be, which is a welder, very articulate with my skill with the stick or with the TIG torch. I would say I want to make something the best out of my career path, and have a good family that I have settled down along with me, a good woman beside me, a good head, good motherly instinct. On top of that, someone who is doesn't have self-righteous behavior, what have you. Good Christian woman, not a woman that is going to use her Christian morals to her own advantage, or as what I see a lot of Christians do. If they want to give someone money, if they want to do this, it's more for the reason of not to help out. Then make themselves feel better. Hey God, you see what I did? I gave this fucking homeless guy a $20 bill. You see that? Yeah, no, I want someone who's gonna be like, hey, let me go ahead get you some food real quick. Let me get you what you need, what you want, what you need to. I'll get you a pair of clothes, something like that. Money ain't gonna do shit for a man that's walking around with alcoholic behavior, schizophrenia, and a $20 bill. You know what I'm saying? What does it look like he needs? Because that man's a no mindset. Man's a no mindset to say what he needs because he don't know what he needs himself. Sometimes you have to provide that fuel for him. Yo, here's a pair of clothes. Here's like something to do something, right? Here's a new pair of clothes. Here's something to get you by for this way of life that you're living right now. At least it's something to put a smile on his face. I mean, you can only do with so much in situations like that, but it's better than handing an alcoholic schizophrenic a $20 bill because all you're doing is providing fuel for a fire that's already raging. You got to see what this man wants. He's holding his stomach, man. He's fucking hungry as hell. I bet you if I give him money for that food, he's going to go ahead and go get that alcohol. Why? Well, that's just the downfall of human folly. Instead, you could go to Longhorns, get him a nice porterhouse, something like that. Get him something that's gonna fill up his stomach all right so he could get some money to come around when he can use it how he will. But I gave him something that will give him the fuel that he needs to get through the rest of his damn day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you cannot do that for everyone though. Just
Well,
one person you can help.
yeah, that's the cold hard truth. Is unfortunately you can't help everyone. That's There's the thing is that you can only hold someone's hand, but they have to make the decision to grab your hand and help. And that's if they even want to grab your hand, because here's the thing is that they already made the decision to change their life. They could do it on their own, or they can or you could provide the help they might need along the way, right? But there ain't no way you're going to make a man do a backflip if you don't want to do a backflip. If you have an alcoholic friend, raging alcoholic. He don't want to change shit about himself. He's not going to be able to do, you're not going to be able to do shit for him because he has to do it for himself first. Look at himself in the mirror and say, this is what I've done to myself. This is where I'm at. This is the stoop that I've hit. This is the downfall of my folly I have hit as I look at myself in the mirror with a bottle in my hand. That I am not in a good position in my life right now. I'm not where I need to be at. That recollection is where you can provide the crutch for that man. But you can't give a man a crutch if he wants to walk on a broken foot.
Is that what happened to you?
What do you mean? Is that what happened to me? No.
I mean, like your own realization that you have to change your life?
My overall realization of my definite first instinct of I need to change something about myself. I need to change this now. I need to change my cocaine addiction. Was whenever I was standing over a line gritting my fucking teeth in the middle of the night to go back to sleep. And then I was just given that recollection saying, I'm taking a line of fucking cocaine to go back to sleep at night so I can stop gritting my goddamn teeth and waking myself up. I need to take this line. My body literally feels like that it will not be able to go back to sleep without this fucking line. And that's how I realized my ass is knee deep in cocaine and fucking coke whores, and I ain't got shit that's fucking is safe for it but a damn diploma in my hand that I'm gonna be getting that next day. And that next day was that assessment of where, boom, your ass out on the street. Don't care if you make it. Don't care if you Don't care if you do. Don't care if you don't. Here's where you're at, man. My parents basically gave me that option, which I will say this, very risky option for them inside the sense of kicking me out like that. I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely be right now on the side of the road myself, but I had decided to make something of it and just put the elbow grease in the fucking work that I had to and experience the downfall of the ups and downs of getting through a situation that I put my ass in. I decided to dig down to get my ass to fucking China. And I started realizing that, hey, I'm hitting the fucking earth score and I don't, shit, what am I doing now? I got to get the fuck back up so I can get to China. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made the wrong path and I've been going on that path for years. And I gotta change this before this becomes a trope of mine and I hit the fucking center of the earth and I'm over here burning in a scorching ball of fire. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Like, okay, like, what would you tell your, let's say you have a son someday, right? What would you advise that son? Like, based on your experience so far? If he was in the same situation as what you have experienced.